All right, people. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Another Black Eyes TV production in the house. Yeah, we've got a young, powerful panel today. Yeah, the title is Understanding the Mind of the Enforcer. Yeah, we're going to be dealing with a couple local issues that's happened of lately to do with the police, and some civil unrest has taken place, and just getting the general opinion of our panel today. Yeah. So without further ado, I'm just going to let them go through and introduce themselves. Let's start with the lady of the bunch, first of all. If you could unmute your mic, CC, and talk to the people.
CC from the People Versus, one half of the People Versus. We're a community organisation. Yeah.
That's all. And let me just deal with your partner, Antonio. Unmute your mic and just say hello to the people, please. Talk to them. And we can't hear you right now, brother. All right, listen, next person on the panel, we'll come back to you, and Raspek, unmute your mic, please. Introduce, tell the people what you do and everything. Yeah, neat.
Yeah. I'll let him. Yes. Bless up my people. Raspek Firebingy, activist, artist. Yeah, just been out there just spreading, black love, black power. Yeah, and find out more about what I do as we go along, I guess. Hello? 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 Hello?
Sarah, unmute your mic. Introduce yourself to the people, please.
Yeah, they call me Sarah Garvey, man. And that's about that, really. I'm looking like the Dark Knight right about now. Sun kissed. I just cause controversy wherever I go, it seems, man. I'm just here to give my 2 pence, man. I'm just here to give 2 pence.
No doubt, no doubt. And the Black Child promotion, guys, please unmute your mic. Tell the people who you are, what you do.
Yeah, my name is Solomon from BCP Black Child Promotions. We've been in existence since 2004. Started off with, distributing educational DVDs, and grassroots organization. And we're affiliated to Pan-African organizations such as the PAC and Pan-African Congress Movement. And also members of the Arts Center run by Pepper Kai. So yeah, we're Black Child Promotions. We've been in existence from 2004, from educational DVDs in the community now to books in the community. Yeah.
All right, all right. Listen, our final guest is digging me off trying to get in. Yeah, just give me 1 second, people, while I sort that out. First of all, let's just deal with this incident in Forest Gate. Yeah. From what I have gathered and what I'm telling the people, there was a young man, he was in a car. Yeah, he had been pulled over by the police. They took him out of the car forcefully from what I'd been told. And Brother Raspek will speak to this in a minute as someone who was there at the police station on the day protesting against the action. But basically, the young man was pulled out of the car, sprayed CS gassed, I believe, put into some heavy restraint holds, and it basically resulted in him going into a coma. Now, from that, when the family were trying to find out what was going on, apparently they were being stonewalled for several days. No information was given. When there was a look into what had been going on, apparently there was no report given that the family had even inquired about the boy and all sorts, and therefore apparently bring it to a boiling point, which led to the civil unrest that we saw on the streets. But again, at this point, I want to bring in you, Respect, who was down there. Yeah, speak to the people on what you saw on the day as far as protesting, who was protesting, any other information that I might have missed out. Speak to the people on that. You got to unmute your mic, my brother.
Yeah. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, so basically, it was a bit like a deja vu of the Mark Duggan situation. I basically got the phone call to say another brother had died in police custody. So I went down there to get the facts. When I got down there, a lot of his friends and the family members who were down there basically said that like he had definitely been, you know, a victim of police brutality, and they believe that's what led to his death. Now, us from London, especially like man like Black Child Promotions out here, can definitely tell you on more than one occasion that ourselves, and maybe there's more people on the panel that can tell you that police use excessive force. This isn't nothing new to the Black community. We know anytime they send in police for one Black man, we know they send in 10 officers for one Black man. And we know they use excessive force. So basically, this excessive force led to the death of this brother. And the IPCC was basically trying to stall out the thing. And the family was going to protest outside the police station. And as you know, the Metropolitan Police, which is the biggest gang in the UK, if you want to know gang, yeah, they're the biggest one. Yeah, the most organized gang. So they basically threatened the family, saying that basically if they go out there and protest, they're basically telling the family they'll be inciting a riot. So the family actually said they're not going down to the protest. So I've got the information back that the family basically cancelled the protest. But obviously, they're Edson's biological family, but that's still my brother, as far as I'm concerned. You know what I'm saying? It's still all of our brothers. You get me? Like, that's our brother. As far as I know, if I didn't know Leon or I didn't know you, Richie, you get me? That could have been you. It could have been Sarah. You know what I'm saying? I'm not looking at it as, I need to know this person to care. I'm just looking at it, this is part of our family, you understand? And basically, we got to go see Wagwan. And there was other people that felt like that. And then he had his core of friends. So cut a long story short, when we got down there now, you know, you had the, you know, the normal kind of Black Lives Matter kind of integrated protesters. You know what I'm saying? They're outside the station. Who killed Edson? Police killed Edson. But you see when these brethrens rolled up, see when gang rolled up, these man just started dragging everyone into the road. First thing them man done is blocked off the traffic. You know what I'm saying? And they basically blocked off the traffic in Forest Gate all the way down to Stratford. All up until 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. The protest was, you know, a peaceful protest. You know what I'm saying? Where we basically took over the roads and said we want justice, basically. And if you keep on killing us, we're gonna keep on taking over your roads. And they didn't make no money that day, definitely, because they had to shut down the bus stations. You know what I'm saying? They had to evacuate the buses. And so that was like the best case scenario. But basically, one of the commanders came down and spoke to the man them, and he weren't really talking no sense. Because we're saying, is that officer still on duty? yeah, and they're saying yes, and we're saying, you get me, even though I know they're not going to suspend him, because we know how the system works already. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
so the only justice we can really take as black people is to be stopping the black on black violence. The only justice that we can take as black people is to be policing the police ourselves. You understand? Like, I'm not looking for justice from this man who's, you know, raped and pillaged us and never said sorry. So we can't really be looking for justice from him. But people are still gonna fight for justice, and I'll still support them in that, yeah. But so basically, when the man them got back to Forest Gate now, basically, one of the police must have body slammed a pregnant woman, and she was basically became unconscious, and that's what sparked the riots. You understand? And obviously, so now you had all of the gate man them.
Hold up, respect. Listen, just to clarify that, yeah. So everybody's protesting, they're locking off the street. Yeah, this young boy's died at this point, yeah. And
yeah,
they're going on heavy-handed with the crowd, and then they've
assaulted. Yeah,
they
was antagonizing, upset. And man, I can't lie, my brother, I had to fight to keep that thing peaceful, blood. You know what I'm saying? Especially when we got to Stratford. But the funny thing is, yeah, more time when there's people throwing bottles is white youths. That was the funny thing about it. And I had to tell these white youths, look, yeah, you man throwing bottles, it looks like a black crowd, innit? So you man throwing the bottles ain't helping no situation right now, because you're just going to demonize all of us. Now, I don't think that man was like unsincere. I think they were just against police. You know what I'm saying? But man had to fight to keep them. And then some of his brothers, obviously, like his actual family who's angry, they wanted to lick down the feds, you get me, for the way they was going on, because they're going on remorseless. You know how they are already, man. You know what I'm saying? They're going on remorseless with the man them. So obviously, like once the man, and then they tried to kettle the man them, and then that thing happened with the pregnant girl. Obviously, yeah, the ends went off. You know what I'm saying? And feds was getting chased all over Forest Gate. You understand? But in some form, because justice is what stops them from doing it again. Do we agree on that? Do we agree that justice, yeah, in a wider like definition, is what stops someone doing the same thing again? You know what I'm saying? So if the police officers was sacked or suspended or prosecuted after killing a black youth, that will be justice. Because what it's going to do is make a next officer think, when he sees Sarah, or when he sees Leon, or when he sees Richie, or when he sees Cece's little brother, he's going to make him think, you know what, I don't want to brutalize this guy, because the last guy who done that was sacked. I lie, my people. That's going to come through his head. But if no one gets sacked and there's no justice, and if our elders like can't, you know, obviously I love my elders, you get me, especially the ones on the front line. But if as a whole they can't, you know, politically organize themselves, put their differences to one, demand some sort of justice, you understand? Then all we're left to for justice to make me feel safe as a black man is them brothers on the road. You get me? Because for me, the only thing that's going to make the next officer not lick down at you is he's thinking about the place burning down or his police station burning down or something. And he's going to think, you know what, I don't want to cause another protest and a march and a riot like that. So let me treat these black people with some humanity. So yeah, that's my take on it.
All right. Well, again, you know, you hear that story, you hear what's gone on. At this point, I want to introduce Nico. You there, my brother? Coming with the Moorish paradigm, bringing a bit of light to the law and the civil actions. Are you there, Neeks? Can you hear me? I can hear you. I'm turning you up. Introduce yourself to the people, my brother, and just tell them why I've called you onto the show. And if you've got any comments, opening comments, please feel free to make it.
Okay, well, yeah, I'm Honorable Nico Day. I want to say shalom, salam alaikum, peace, hotep, Islam to each and all out there, and to the, you know, to the other people on the panel. I'm from Labatt Grove. I actually grew up on the estate that Grenfell Tower's on, Lancaster West Estate. I've been an active member in the community, just in terms of, you know, everything for the betterment. Yeah, yeah. I used to be in a group called the Cash Crew back in the day. We were dealing with certain elements, and because of that, we kind of got censored Did 10 years performing, 10 years producing. Didn't really like, got to a certain height in production. I didn't really like what was going on, how it was going. So, you know, I broke the hell out, basically. Started to learn how to teach. Just started to doing some more extensive studying. Always been, you know, searching knowledge, looking for the, you know, the nature of existence and stuff like that. Knowledge of self since the 90s. And yeah, I've just started to implement certain things in the last 6 or 7 years. I started teaching Moorish science down at the Tabernacle in Labrador Grove. Yeah, that's about it. Yeah, I'll probably add in some other bits as we go along, but yeah.
All right, nice one for that, Nico. We'll come back to you soon. All right, Cece.
Yeah.
Can you unmute your mic for me, please, my dear? Can you hear me, Cece?
Okay.
Cece, my dear. Can you hear me, Cece?
Yeah, I can hear you, Rich.
All right, there you go. Yeah, so as someone as well who I know you've worked with Respect before, you got close ties to Black Child Promotions. You was also working with my cousin Daniel Stennett, who runs African Sons and Daughters, who is also there on the day. What's your take from hearing the story so far of what Respect's told you? Do you have any input on how you view the police and their actions to the youth, and in general when it comes to civil unrest or the public not being happy?
I mean, to be honest, I would just echo what's already been said, to be honest. You know, it's unfortunate that these types of situations keep occurring, and you know, lives are being lost, and it's crazy. And everything that Rafik said, basically, you know, we just live in a time where this thing is just it's going to continue to happen, and if we just kind of don't really say anything about it or do anything about it, it's just going to continue to happen, you know. And I mean, I can't say that I'm a fan of protesting or whatever, but I do respect highly the people that go out and do protest or do take some form of action, because we do need something. We do need something, and justice has to be served. And I just feel like we're a people of complainers. We spend a lot of time complaining about problems that are affecting us as a community, but very rarely do anything about it. So yeah, I mean, I just echo everything that's already been said, to be honest.
Definitely.
Yeah, sure.
My Black Child Promotion people, unmute your mic, please. Solomon, Leo.
Yo.
Say something. Nico wants to interject, Rich.
Oh, okay. Hold that thought, lads. 1 second. Let me see what Nico has to say. I'm gonna come back to you, Nico. Nico, can you hear us?
Yeah, Nico.
Nico, your mic is unmuted, brother. All right. Black Child.
Yeah.
All right, we can hear you now. We can hear you now, Neeks. Go true.
You know, no matter whether they're faithful or religious, at some point they may say, So where's God now? Like, where's God in all this? Like, people are suffering, we're getting persecuted. You know, it seems to be just and right. No one's being brought to justice, all the rest of it, right? And we're all looking outside of ourselves thinking, where's God? But the actuality is, it's the God within ourselves that has to awaken, all right? When we realize who we are, okay? When we realize who we are, we'll realize the illusion that's going on, okay? The reason why we're not getting justice is because law is not being offered. And the reason why law is not being offered is because we're not asking for law. We're asking for slave rights and privileges, okay? And they've split the system within two realms, all right? There's two different realms that don't mix, yeah? One is called de jure, and the other one is called one is called de jure, and the other one is called de facto, okay? And de facto looks like law. It's colorable. It seems like law, but it's not law. And as long as you ask for that, we keep doing that. We keep doing the same thing, asking for civil rights, which is not law. Okay, marching, protesting, rioting, it's not working. We have to try something else. We have to try and be cognizant when it comes to law. We have to know the difference between de jure and de facto, citizen and people, statutory rights and inalienable rights. Okay, when you request for inalienable rights, statutory rights doesn't affect you. But at the same time, when you request for statutory rights, guess what? The law ain't going to be there for you. It's not going to be offered for you. Okay, these people that we're talking about, the 1% elite, they understand law. They respect law, and they deal with a particular aspect of karma where if you don't feel guilty about something, it can't affect you. What they're dealing with is the first law, which is the law of self-preservation. Okay? They're not thinking about us, they're thinking about themselves. Okay, but at the same time, they do honor divine law. And once it's asked for, they have to adhere to it. And that's as simple as it, you know, it doesn't get no simple than that. By calling ourselves black people, all right, we actually, we deny law. We're not honoring our mothers and fathers.
There is no law, man.
There is law, brother.
There is no law in this system. There's no law.
Yeah,
When it comes to us, there's no law. Listen,
brother,
yeah.
Brother, when you speak,
it's as simple as this, yeah.
Hold up, everybody. Hold up, Nico. Let this Black Child Promotion crew answer that and respect, yeah? And then we're gonna come back to you. 1 second. Who's going first? Black Child Promotion, talk to us.
Yeah, there's natural law in it. There's cause and effect in it. I punch you, you flinch. You get me? You get a black eye or something. You get me? Back in school, the bully used to bully everybody, and nobody don't fight back the bully. You get what I'm saying? The police is the bully in this big playground. You get me? And until you fight back the bully's gonna continue bullying. It's that simple law. That's simple. You get me? The boy them are still doing this thing because no one ain't reacting. Everybody's protesting. Everybody crying. Everybody's praying. Everybody's asking for justice, but no one don't even know what justice is. Like, what is justice? Like, everyone calls for it. What's justice? Justice is Latin. It's justitia, or however you pronounce it, and it just means righteousness. Justice means righteousness, and we're asking for righteousness from unrighteous people. Like, naturally unrighteous people, enemy of the sun people, you get me? And we're asking for righteousness from them people there. You go mad. There is no justice.
Let me just also say something as well. I fully rate and agree with the points Brother Respect was talking about when he says we need to organize. We as our community, we need to organize because we have to remember these are the same police, like was mentioned before, that killed Smiley Culture and said that he went to make himself a cup of tea or something like that and stabbed himself in the chest. Now, I don't know no black man, not even man with mental health, are stabbing himself in the chest. You understand? This is the same police that had Stephen Lawrence's family, after what happened in the 90s, under surveillance, after they were the victims. As mentioned as well, Mark Duggan. In fact, there's been over 1,000 deaths in police custody since 1960. This is the same police that in the 90s had a police informant called Delroy Denton reaping havoc in the community. While he was an informant working with the police, he was doing all manner of things in the community with impunity because the police allowed him to do it, which is against the law. So I think, as I said, not to go on too long, but as Raspek said, we need to police the police and we need to educate ourselves so we can police our community.
That's it.
All right. Listen, I'm feeling you. Listen, before we go to Sarah, Anne, do you want to add anything to the conversation?
I got a 2 pence as well.
Anton. Yes. People, we can hear you now. Talk to the people.
All right. Yeah, man. No, man. I'm just saying, like, in the whole Forest Gate incident, the towers, and just things that happen, like, we have our best interest at heart. They never have. They never will, because the reality is that they're not here to protect us. They're here to protect the land, and they do what they do because they can get away with it. And the law is just there to protect them in these like blatant cases of just mess, complete mess. And the reality is we actually are going to have to like take things into our own hands. And it sounds crazy, but the reality is that then, like, if they take one of ours, like, and they get sacked or go to prison, that ain't justice. That ain't justice, because someone's still gone. Like, a family's lost a son or a daughter, you can't get that back. There's no like form of like prison sentences or getting sacked that's going to really help. Like, none of that helps. So thing of where like we kind of have to just like realize that like we do have to like know what they know, because they use what they know against us daily. And if we don't get clued up, then it's going to keep happening. And I don't expect nothing, like, I don't expect them to not be going around licking people down. Like they got away, like they get away with it all the time. Like, America's already shown us over and over again. It's open season. It's open season on all of us. And if they get away with it here, I mean, truth be told, like Solomon, he already said, and they've gotten away, like they get away with it. Like they are allowed to lick us down and walk. So my question is, what now, innit? We can't keep asking these people to help us out because they're not here for us. They don't care about us. So that's how I see it.
All right, I hear you. Mr. Sarah, give us your opinion on
Can I,
what you're hearing so far. Is there
Richie?
justice? Can there ever be justice? Is it about learning the law more? Is it about bigger protests? Talk now, brother.
Yeah, I need to add mine before Jet, because I gotta prepare for the other thing. But going back to what I don't know the brother's name is talking about law.
Yeah, Nico.
Nico. I respect his opinion, but I respectfully disagree also. just because laws change, and a new law can be written tomorrow. So in regards to black people, the second you start demanding stuff, trust me, that law will change, and they will change. They will change it. Hang on. They would. Hang on. I haven't even finished.
Don't worry. Everyone's mic's muted. Finish your point. Yeah, finish your point, Sarah. Sarah.
Yo.
Finish your point, brother.
Yeah, I'm basically saying you're dealing with the people who wrote treaties with the Native American, who wrote treaties with everyone and broke every single one of them, right? So really and truly, I don't believe that their system is very well oiled. It's a very well oiled system. They're not trying to change it for anybody else. Like we may feel like we can get them to change it, but they're not trying to change it for anybody else. This system works for them, and it's going to continue to work for them. What we need to do is start working for us, work for us. So organizing yourselves. A physical, a visually physical organization. Someone spoke about, and I remember the Nation of Islam, and there were a bunch of black men and physical thing for people to see, and so people kind of sat up and said, well, okay, well, we're not going to do anything to these people because they look kind of serious. So real magic and stuff is serious. We don't look serious, bro. Tell the truth, we don't. We prefer to kill each other and then beef with one another than really do something. And it's just that when something happens, beefing, we expect the police to do that. Well, I expect the police to do that. As sad as it is, I expect them. I don't expect is for another brother to do it to another brother. But we don't protest and organize as much when it happens to one of our own brothers from another brother. Like, I got brothers screwing me on the street that they wouldn't even know them. Do you know what I mean? The police, I expect the police to roll by me and won't expect that, but I expect to be able to also walk in my own community, people, and feel safe and chilled. And sometimes I'm like, boy, like, why are you looking at me like that, brother? Do you know what I mean? I ain't got no beef with you. So, but the thing is, what I'm trying to say is, they see we're not serious amongst ourselves. So if it was a Chinese community, an Arab community, or a Jewish community, they can see that there's a presence amongst those people that they're serious about their own people. So don't come here. The police don't roll up in Chinatown. They don't roll up in Jewish town. They don't roll up in Asian town and do them kind of thing because they know the people are cohesive about one another. But they roll up in our community because they are disbanded and we're not serious about one another. So I think the deeper problem is just us becoming more cohesive. If we do become more cohesive, they will see that, and then they'll think twice about doing what they've done.
Definitely. Let me just ask you before you roll out, because I know you're gonna go off to prepare for this thing. So, and before Nico comes back, one of the things I'm just gonna interject that obviously being prepared or more organized. Do you think learning the law or being more versed in whatever the current law is, because as you're saying, the law changes all the time. There's 6 Black's Law dictionaries. They're constantly redefining the legalese and all of these kind of angles to keep one step ahead of the public and that. So do you think, not as a be all and end all, but do you think that's part of the solution, being more versed in the law, as my brother Nico was intimating?
Yeah, I don't think it will hurt. I mean, you should know the laws of the land that you're living in. I think that's, you know, that makes sense. However, don't expect the laws of the land that you're living in, or don't expect the people that enforce it to always apply those laws to you. Do you know what I mean? So I think definitely get well versed in it. You can get well versed in it, but don't think it's going to be your savior, because to them you're still a nigger. Do you know what I mean? It's like, well, laws don't really apply to us really, because we can ask and march for justice. And you know, you saw in America with Philando Castle, right? That the police shot him in his car with his 4-year-old in the back. Man still had his seatbelt on, right? What happened? The police officer got away with it. So it's like laws don't apply to us, it seems. Like they can get away with the laws that would have, if that was a white woman, that officer would have got, however, thrown away, you know, and be rotting in the police cell. But to us, the laws don't apply. So I think, yeah, know the law, but also don't expect the law to protect you and for you to be treated like you are, I guess, a member of society. You have to know you're kind of living in a prisoner of war camp kind of thing. So
definitely. That I do agree with. Listen, Black Child Promotions, thank you, Sarah, yeah, for coming on, blessing the platform. We're gonna have you on again, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, big up on what you're doing. Big up to Callum, Titans TV, yeah. We'll talk to you shortly, yeah. So click off when you're ready.
All right, listen, peace to the family, yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, fam.
I'll call you, brother. We'll talk.
Can I touch on that law thing? Where's the law brother gone?
Respect.
Where's the law brother gone?
I don't know, he's dropped. He'll be back in shortly, yeah? But first of all, yeah, before I even touch that, because he's going to come back in, yeah? Black Child Promotions. You there, brothers? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, brothers. Now, like, again, when it comes to first-hand knowledge of the treatment from the police, talk to the people about your personal experience, because, again, it was very much televised. It was all over the telly. Yeah, police was blatantly going on with some shaggeries. So, yeah, speak to the people about your experience, and then you can touch on the points of the law and what Sarah said, and then we'll come over to Raspek after you two voice your opinion.
So we just start. Basically, before Brixton, like a lot of people don't know that before Brixton, from the early days, from we started in 2004, niggas can tell you this, that we've been suffering police persecution for what we do, because we started out in Tottenham 2004 selling, like, you know, the educational documentaries and stuff like that. And even though we didn't have nothing like Hollywood or nothing like that, because we had, you know, the Asher Kwazis and, you know, the Sheikh Anta Diop and Dr. John Henry Clark, and it was kind of galvanizing the community. So they had us on camera and a large group of black people congregating and getting together, and, you know, no fighting or nothing like that, just conversing. But they used to send undercover, like, council people, especially, like, even a black man for years. Remember, the black man, he used to hound us for years. The first time we bucked him, he was a man that came and pretended, yeah, what kind of educational DVDs do you have? And then he flicked out his council badge, and then police came and confiscated our stuff. And this has happened to us several times during the years, even trying to take money out of our pockets and stuff like that. So it's a battle that we've been fighting for a long time. But I want to just give you the background so you know what's going on. So basically, a few years back, like, the police approached us and they said, all right, if you come back with original material, yeah, original copies that you can't, you know, argue about copyright law and all of those type of things, then we'll allow you to do your thing peacefully. So basically, I hooked up with, like, an uncle, like Uncle Pepperkai, and said to him, you know what, I do all of the documentaries. It's a natural progression to get into book distribution. So we decided to do that so the police wouldn't be on our case all of the time, and that we could still disseminate the information in the community. So after that, now they left us alone in Tottenham. So we started going north, south, east, west, all around the place, and we started doing Brixton again, because we did Brixton in the past and we had some of the same problems with the council and all that kind of stuff. So that councilman that you see in the video, he basically approached us when we first started out in Brixton and said, oh, we've got you on camera receiving a lot of money on camera. So unless you're a charity, yeah, you're not allowed to do it. So basically, because we're already working with Uncle P, and we have affiliations to Pan-African organization, he said, you know what, the Art Center and distribution company that we work for is a part of a charity called the Marcus Garvey Foundation, run by Uncle Binny in Birmingham. That he's one of the organizers for African Liberation Day. So official charity papers, official.
Yeah.
Bruv.
Yeah, bruv. Let me just tell the people, yeah, because you're mentioning certain like elders in the community, yeah.
Yeah.
And, like you, man, just for the people them that don't understand, these guys, Black Child Promotion, deal in educational publications.
Publications.
Yeah. So understand when, you know, they're telling this story, why they're being approached and what is going on here when we're talking about education of our people. Sorry, brother, continue with
that. So basically, we started disseminating books in Brixton, and the guy said, unless you're a charity, you're not allowed to be here. So, or it's going to be classed as illegal trading. So we got our charity papers, which is officially a part, not of the Charities Commission, but of the Inland Revenue, Charity Department of the Inland Revenue. So we all, me, Negus, and other member of Black Child Promotions, Noel K, we all got charity papers. So everything was fine. But I think on that particular day, because he had it out for us already, and you know, there was a lot of police in Brixton, he decided to approach us. You understand? So we're saying that basically when you see other people disseminating information like the Socialist newspaper and, you know, certain Jehovah Witnesses giving out literature and stuff like that, according to human rights legislation, yeah, which was applicable at the time, I don't know, with all this Brexit thing, things are changing, but at that time, in the human rights legislation, Article 10 and 11, it says you have freedom of expression, you have the right to disseminate, impart and receive information regardless to borders and frontiers and all sorts. So we're giving them a breakdown on all of that, but because we were standing on law, he then decided to arrest us, and you saw the footage, so I'm not going to go too much into that, but he didn't arrest us. When he arrested us, he never arrested us on illegally trading of books. He never arrested us of being a false charity or nothing like that. He arrested us on, they arrested me on assault of a police officer. That's what they said I did. They said I assaulted a police officer. My brother Negus, they arrested him on obstruction, which basically he'll go into in a minute, but they arrested him on obstruction of my arrest. So basically, if you came then and was going by the law, you would have arrested us because none of us was really resisting. You understand? The only reason, well, one of the main reasons that Brother Negus got arrested as well is because he was stopping the police from taking the books and giving the books. There's a part of the footage there's a lot of footage that hasn't been shown. There's footage that when I'm on the floor, they're punching me in my head and all that kind of stuff that people haven't seen. There's footage when Negus and mainly Negus and another brother as well, I forgot his name, was trying to stop the stopping the police from taking the books illegally. You understand? So members of the community, when they took me and Negus, about 50 police surrounded Negus and took him, and then eventually they took me as well, and they arrested me on assault of a police officer. Now this is the thing, is that because of a competent Nation of Islam member, which I won't say his name, but a competent Nation of Islam member managed to get me NFA'd, meaning no further action, but they still carried on a charge for Negus on obstruction. You understand? So even though they NFA'd me, which means no further action, why are they still pursuing a charge on Negus? And the funny thing about it was that, yeah, we got a lot of support outside of the station and all of that, but when it came to the court time, when Negus was being convicted, yeah, which is like basically obviously we're all family men here and all that, and we got responsibilities and stuff. So none of us need convictions.
Definitely.
You understand? So the police turned up with their witnesses. None of our witnesses showed up. You understand? No one that said they were going to turn up really turned up. Only like somebody from Black Lives Matter. Well, I think yeah, someone from Black Lives Matter. So, you know, we were like, rah, and the police came with their witnesses. And even though the evidence of the video showed that we never assaulted any police, and Lee was just basically, you understand, saving the books and stuff, they still they still convicted him. You understand? We had to pay a fine, and we also.
That's justice, blood.
Yeah.
That's justice. You get me?
Well,
that's the justice that we're
talking, yeah. And you're hearing Sarah talk about the community needs to better organize, and you're saying you went to court and no one really turned up. Is this? Do you share that sentiment? Do you think like?
But what? Let me get this clear. I'm not saying I'm saying the original the people them. A lot of the people that turned up when we initially got arrested for 24 hours. Yeah. Okay. But people are drumming outside and everything, and obviously the support's very much appreciated. But we're saying at the time of when they tried to convict, understand, brother Negus, no one like that same presence wasn't there. Understand? So I don't want to take too much time, but also it's very important to tell you this as well, is that afterwards the council contacted us. Yeah, the head of the council contacted us, and they said to us, oh, we just want an amicable solution to what's happened in Brixton, and we don't agree with what the police have done and rare tear and all this type of thing. So they offered us a deal. They said, we'll give you a permanent spot in Brixton. We'll give you a permanent spot in Brixton, but just sign to say you were illegally trading. You understand? Just sign a paper to say that you are illegally trading. And all of those other people that were doing what they do, most of them, all of them signed the paper. But we're saying we're not signing that paper because we never got arrested for illegally trading. And furthermore, on top of that, not only are we not going to sign or deal with you or nothing like that, we're going to go back on the same spot as well. On top of that, we're going to go back on the same spot. And we've been there over 20 times since the incident, many times. You understand? And basically, even on top of that as well, after we denied the deal with them, we went back to the police station and we said, hey, what? You said that we weren't giving out literature, yeah? So what we're gonna do, we're gonna make a proposal for us as Black Child Promotions to hand out literature to the inmates. You understand? And we're gonna call it the Brain Cell Project, yeah? And we wanna hand out literature because being in a cell has been linked to mental health. There's a lot of people, you understand, it affects people's mental health and all that, because you're in a cell, you haven't got nothing to do. You understand? It's a dormant place, you understand? So we had the idea to say, you know what, let's try, we're not working with the police. This ain't about the police, but we're showing you that we'll donate 50, if there's 50 cells, we'll donate 50 books, yeah? Not the Bible, not the Quran. All books on stuff like Benjamin, we never even went too hardcore in them. We said Benjamin Zephaniah, Nelson Mandela story, because he was incarcerated as well, as you know. Yeah. And you know, just books along those type of lines. You understand? The Stephen Lawrence inquiry, the book on Stephen Lawrence by his best friend Dwayne Brooks, stuff like that. So they said, all right, then bring in a sample of these books, and right. So we wrote the proposal within a week. And we went back with the sample of books. After they said to do that, we done that, and they still no reply. It's like they're running scared, because we went in there to say, basically, you know, you're saying we're not giving out books. We'll give out books in your cells. Just allow us to go in there, because you know how the community feel about you anyway. So it's a positive resolution if we can go in there and reach our people and hand them literature. Or now they haven't replied to us. Understand? So
that's what we're dealing with.
They're stumped, and that's the thing. Again, I think because you lot followed it through so efficiently, you done what needed to be done. Just on that small premise of doing the proposal and whatever, you headed them off at the pass, innit? They didn't have nothing more for you. So this is where right now they're trying to consider what response to come to, because again, they tried to deal with you heavy-handedly. They tried to come with the civil, Yeah, and this is the thing. Yeah, there's many forms of this oppression thing, and that's where the show Understanding the Enforcer is what we're trying to break down. Respect. You there, my brother? Respect.
Yeah, I got.
Can you
Yes,
hear me?
family. I can hear you.
All right, I told us. What was you gonna say?
Yeah, I kind of lost my trail of thought. Listening to what the brothers were saying. Big up to everyone's contributed. Still, it's powers on powers. I've agreed with everything except for certain things my brother on the law said. That's why it would have been good.
Well, that's what I'm saying. On the law,
because I do hear what he's saying about where the law is concerned. Cause if you know about me, that was kind of, that's like my main field, isn't it? We feel like we should study law and we should know the difference between, you know, common law, which is like the law of the land, and the law of the sea. So we should understand like harm, loss, and injury is the only law that we should really be dealing with, and everything else is a part of the system. But with that understanding of the law for this country, we also have to understand that we're black in this country. You know what I'm saying? You can't forget that. You can't forget that racism is rife, and you got black skin. So, if you get a judge or even a lawyer that's meant to be representing you, and he's, you know, institutionally racist, it's going to affect you in some way, shape, or form. You know what I'm saying? So even if the law will say one thing, I've seen many occasions where, like for example, Leon them just told you, innit, that man was clearly innocent because they've already given Solomon no further action. So they've already said that Solomon wasn't guilty of assaulting a police officer, and from he wasn't guilty of that, then Leon couldn't be guilty of obstructing nothing, because that means he shouldn't even have been arrested in the first place.
That means it was kidnapped. That means it was kidnapped.
If you don't NF, yeah, it's kidnapped, but bro, like we're behind enemy lines. We are there behind enemy lines. Man, them know where it is. So that's what I'm saying. Justice from the system's always been a myth. The only time we're gonna get some sort of justice is when man like us.
You don't ask for justice.
When man like us get together in our hundreds and we start ourselves. Like that's the only time when man like us get together in our hundreds and we start investing in ways so that we can employ our youth, like what the Indian man does, so we can get them off the roads. Cause we know like they're just gonna laugh at us, innit? If we tell them come off the roads and we ain't got a couple jobs, they're just gonna laugh at you, innit?
Definitely. Most definitely.
They're just gonna laugh at you. Correct now. I'm eating. You're not giving me.
You can't take away and not give them something. You need an alternative. You get me? A replace.
These youths, if we're trying to tell them to do everything at once, we want them to be vegan. We want them to be. Monks. You know, we want them to be celibate. We want them to stop the gangbanging. We want them to stop chilling on the block with their bridge. You know what I'm saying? Let's take it in steps. And I feel like the first thing that we need to deal with as a nation is this post-Cold War, black on black violence, self-hate. Let's deal with that as the first thing. You get me? The man them are hustling. We already know what comes with that. But BMF, if you know about BMF, it's not always a negative thing.
Tell the people.
You know what I'm saying?
Bro, tell the people what's BMF.
Yeah.
For those who don't know.
Tell those who don't know what.
What's BMF?
Yeah, they was like the Black Panther Party. You understand? So they was in America. If you hear about like Big Mish and then man there, he was the don of BMF, but it was family. And basically, these were gang brothers, yeah, who came up with the concept that man them fighting doesn't make no money. Yeah, but if all the man them get together, they're powerful. So the first man that you saw, like obviously you might not rate it, we should be really making it rain on what I'm saying, yeah. But these were the first man to do that thing with the money where they was making, because they had all the gangs in their area united. You understand? And they was making dumb money. So I'm saying that that philosophy, you get me? I mean, you need to clock where them man went wrong. Cause if them man invested in couple community centers, you know what I'm saying, and couple things with couple of that piece, their man's legacy will be thriving all now. You get me? But where's a lot of the splashing and that? You know what I'm saying? Sometimes that might have kind of tainted the thing a little bit. But like they was basically when they show man them what can happen when we put this beef to one side. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. No, listen, I definitely hear you. Cece, at this point, you got anything to interject? Can you hear us, C? Yeah, you got anything to interject at this point?
No, I couldn't. I mean, yeah, I just agree. I'm just echoing what everybody else has said, really.
I mean, look, you studied the law. I mean, this is something you're aspiring to do. It's something you want to bring in with the black community and obviously bring awareness to. But when you're seeing like things like Grenfell Tower, our brothers getting shift for educating, you know, the youngsters out there just by giving away books. Like when you think of a solution, do you see it coming from the marching, or do you see it from education and revolutionary moves, as in taking it, rather than so much asking and petitioning?
Yeah, to be honest, the whole marching thing is not really something that I'm a big fan of, like, and protesting and all of that stuff. To me, yeah, because for me, it's almost like you're asking for justice. So, but in regards to education, I think is key. In anything that you do in life, but obviously when with regards to what's happening and the fact that so many young black boys are losing their lives or black men are losing their lives, I think it's essential. Like I don't understand. Like I can't see it not being imperative for us to know how the legal system works over here, regardless of the fact that it's going to be used against us or whatever because of the color of our skin. I still think it's essential that we know how it operates, and what our rights are. I just think education is key, and I think once we're in a space where we've educated ourselves to the point where, because the reality is this, like, they expect us to be uneducated individuals. They expect us to behave a certain way. They have these expectations of how we're going to be. And so if you look at like the Nation of Islam, for example, how they operate, regardless of the color of their skin, they're not to be messed with. Do you understand what I mean? Like they're taken very seriously, and the way that they unite is crazy. Like you can just look at them and know they're about their business. They're educated men, and they pose a huge threat. They pose a huge threat, and I just think education is so key. And once we're in that space where we're an educated people collectively, I think we'll be in a much better position to take action. Like protesting and all of that stuff is, to me, is just pointless. We can start, taking our own course of action.
Well, listen, I'm hearing you. One thing I will say though is, if I'm hearing you correctly, and you're using Nation of Islam as an example, and that, which makes sense. They have a moral code. They have a way of dealing with their brother, their sister. They have a way of, going about their business, which again, for them, it comes out of the religious aspect. So
yeah,
let me ask everybody, as younger people and people who deal with the youngers, how important is it to use lot, do you think, on the spirituality tip, to know yourself in that aspect, like on the bigger picture when it comes to these real life problems like boredom and, all these things there that we're dealing with, the Grenfell Tower thing where you just, government's dealing with you harshly. when it comes to galvanizing our community, how important do you think it is about having spiritual content to your life and moral systems, all those kinds of things? Because we've talked about education, we've talked about the law, we talked about knowing, we've talked about revolutionary plays, yeah. But on that level, what's everybody's opinion? Let me go to Ant first. And unmute your mic and give us a piece, and then I want to hear the Black Child promotion, guys, please, afterwards. Ant, can you hear me? Yeah, go on, bro.
Yeah, man. I think it's crucial. Like, I think it's crucial. Like, you've got the mental, the spiritual, and the physical, and like I feel like each one is just as vital as any other. The one thing about spiritual, that whole spiritual stuff, it gets kind of twisted because, you know, you got things like Christianity and things like that that kind of have you looking outside of yourself for answers. Like, you ain't got the answers. Like, you have to be looking towards something else or praying to something else, when the reality is that you have all the answers. And I think it's definitely designed in that way so they can get away with the stuff that they've been doing, because the reality is that if this was taught to us, then they couldn't be doing this stuff. Because with spirituality, like, you actually start reading, you start looking into things, you go on that journey to like finding out who you really are. And the reality is that they've got this thing set up so tight to where they've got you thinking that you're someone that you really ain't. And spirituality is definitely one of the keys to setting yourself free from this mindfuck. Because the reality is that they've just got us living in a prison within a prison within a prison within a prison, and it's like, it seems like there's no way out. But I mean, like, you have to find self. But one of the tricky things is that sometimes it can't be taught. Like, sometimes it's like you kind of have to like find it for yourself. So as much as like you can like direct someone and say, oh yeah, look, this is what you should do and this is what you shouldn't do, you have to, it comes to a time where you have to like be like, do you know what, something ain't right, and I've got to either go that way or that way. And I believe that a lot of people have had that, and some people just choose to block it out, ignore it, and go another way. But ultimately, I do definitely believe that that spirituality is crucial to figuring out all this stuff that's happening. Because if you ain't got that, then you ain't got shit.
No, I'm feeling you. Black Child Promotions.
Yeah.
Speak to me, brothers.
Well, first thing with spirituality, we got to realize that we're all one. You get what I'm saying? And to love thy brother and love thy sister is to love thyself. You get me? And I believe, going back to the police thing, the reason why they're so openly just massacring us on a genocide tip is because we don't love ourselves. You get me? We're quick, just as fast as the Biden's quick to kill us off, we're quick to kill ourselves off as well, you know? You get me? We're quick to take out one of our own quick time. You get me? And it's like when you fight your brother or your sister, you do it inside the house. You get me? I never grow up and fight my brother and my sister out there on the road. You get me? All of that was done in the house. No one would ever know. Say that there's something wrong with me and my sister or me and my brother on the road. You get me? But because we're so open with the fighting thing with each other and killing each other outside there on the road, it's like, rah, they'd be like, oh, okay, they're killing themselves anyway. You get me? So they ain't even petting to do that. You get me? Because no one would ever dare step to my brother or my sister because they know, say, I'm going to back it. But if they just see me and my sister fighting or me and my brother fighting on the road, everybody's going to feel, say, well, he did it, I can do it. You get me? And it's the same principle, you get me? When we start standing up for each other and realizing that we are one people, you get me? When I die, you die. When you die, I die, because that's one less of us, you get me? And they're on a genocide tip. They're trying to take us out. They're taking us out on a spiritual level. They're taking us out through our food. They're taking us out in the jail cells, in the mental homes. They're sterilizing our women. You get me? They've got this batty boy thing coming out into our communities. You get me? They're killing us off in all sectors. You get me? Misinformation in the schools. You get me? Black man don't want to be with black woman. Black women don't want to be with black man. So it's a spiritual thing. When we realize, boy, if we turn our back on ourselves, then the whole thing just unravel. You get me? And that's the thing. We're one. We're one people. You get me? And that's the spirituality there, right there, fam.
See?
Get me?
Feeling you. That's what I'm talking about. Real talks. Brother Solomon, you got anything to add to that?
Well, not really much, you know, because I've it's the same thing. But what I would say is also is that religion is different from spirituality. You understand? Like this, like organized religion thing is different from spirituality. Because sometimes to be openly religious, like, and say, oh, my religion's better than your religion, it's like Malcolm X said. When the police are brutalizing our people, or these white supremacists are brutalizing our people, it's not because we're Christian, Muslim, this, that. It's because we're black people.
We're black.
So that's the realization we need to come
and Malcolm X also said, yes, you get me? I am Nation of Islam, but I keep that thing there in the yard.
Yeah.
You get me? When I'm outside here, my political stance is black nationalism. You get me? I'm for black people.
People forget that.
And
Come on.
People are letting their religions get involved in the truth. Get me? Like we've got black Muslims and black Christians, but you're both getting deaded by the white man.
Exactly.
You get me? So put your religion down. Get forward on a political thing. Okay, we're all black. We'll sort that thing out after, innit? Once we get rid of this beast, then we can deal with our differences after. Malcolm X said it long time ago. Long time ago, he said it. You get me? We're letting religion divide us.
Yeah.
Nah, definitely.
And postcode wars.
100.
Fighting over land that's getting gentrified as we speak. You get me? Like it's a idiot thing.
No, that's it. And again, let me just remind the people before I come to respect on that note. Yeah. This show, understanding the mind of the enforcer. Yeah.
Hello?
And again, we're just
hey.
frontline soldiers.
Right.
You understand? We're not even going to that's about government and those aspects. Yeah, we're just dealing with the police and the attack dogs from the civil angles, like the councils and these aspects. But again, to that point of spirituality, respect. Yeah, and religion. You're on the front line as well, down the corner and doing your thing down there. You're going through all sorts.
You're right, I'm gonna call you back in a minute. I'm doing an interview on the Google Hangouts thing, yeah? Yeah, so I'll phone you after.
Respect.
Can you just repeat the question?
On this, on the forms of spirituality, how important do you think it is in regards to like us becoming free, us getting what we want, us being revolutionaries? Is the spirituality thing a dead thing? Is it something we just put to the side? Is it something that's integral? You get me? The Black Child Promotion man then was just saying that it's key, but you got to know the difference between spirituality and religion. So again, as somebody now who's debating certain religious man and on the front line as a black youth doing his thing, what's your opinion on that, on the spirituality one? How important is it to you?
Yes, we're African people, innit? So spirituality is at the core of everything we do. You know what I'm saying? If we look at all of the ancestors that we held, they was all very spiritual people. You know what I mean? Even if we go back to our revolutions from, you know, Haiti, Toussaint Louverture to, you know, Nat Turner.
Yeah.
Spirituality was at the core of these revolutions.
Definitely, definitely, especially when you're talking.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and even if you're talking about my way of life, like Rastafari, you know what I'm saying? Even though it's burning down Babylon, it's spiritual fire that we're sending out. We never came with no gun or no bomb. We just beat 1 2 9 bingy drum and lick out two words, sound and power for the wicked them. Cause we're burning wickedness in high and low places. Cause this war that we're really fighting isn't a battle of the flesh, really, you know. It's a spiritual warfare we're really in. And His Imperial Majesty said that we're confident we will win because we're confident in the victory of good over evil. You understand? He said until that day we Africans will fight. And we're confident we'll win because we're confident in the victory of good over evil. You know what I'm saying? But the reason why we've won that battle of good over evil, the reason why we can win the physical battle is because we have to win in the spiritual realm first. Then we have to take that spiritual realm to the mental realm. In the mental realm, the spiritual realm is where we're, you know, at one spiritually. So that means whatever we're doing is true and right. That means that we're not just going to lick down no random white guy that's got nothing involved with nothing. You understand? But that means that if any oppressor wants to come and oppress our people, we're ready to defend ourselves by any means necessary. You understand? That's a real spiritual warrior. And that should be at the core of our spirituality. Then when we get the mental now, we start learning about our history, learning about our ancestors, getting the knowledge of self. You understand? And then that should lead into the physical, where we start dealing with economics. And we start actually making the moves, like manifest this spiritual and mental reality we see, making it manifest in this physical reality that we're living. You know what I'm saying? So spirituality has to be at the core. Spirituality is also what's going to keep us sane. Because we would already picked up a big thing and started you understand? At the pagans. You know what I'm saying? But it's true to spirituality where man's always looking for the peaceful method. You understand? Even when it feels like everything's against us. You know what I'm saying? We keep on trodding because we know, even through our spirituality, that we know that when they killed Edson and when they killed Mark Duggan, these people ain't really dead. We can feel their spirit and we can feel their energy. All of our ancestors spiritually are alive and with us right now. You understand? That's what actually keeps us going. That's what keeps us fighting this fight, because, you know, we're outnumbered. So people would wonder, why are you still out here? You know what I'm saying? You could have been talking about, you know, some nice cars and some big chains and you would have been gone already. Why are you still here talking about black people's issues? But they don't understand that when we take up this job, you know what I'm saying, we've got the backing of millions of ancestors who came before us. And that's what keeps us strong. So that's even in the spiritual realm as well. So spirituality has to be at the core. You know what I'm saying? From we lose the spirituality, we lose everything. There's no point in even fighting no physical war or even trying to get no mental knowledge again, because once we ain't got the spirituality, anything that we gain is going to be for the destruction of oneself. You know what I'm saying? So this is where even we can go into the numerology and understand what they're talking about when they say 666, because 666 is 6 protons, 6 neutrons, and 6 electrons. You understand? Which is carbon. So if you research the number 6 refers to earthly matters. You know what I'm saying? So what the 6 represents is your lower self, your physical. You understand? And there's nothing wrong with that from when it's guided and from when it's controlled by your higher self, which is the 9 ether, which is the way our hair grows. You know what I'm saying? So the 9 ether has to be in charge. So it's like Osar being in charge of Set. So everyone's got a beast inside, and you're meant to have that beast, but the beast has to fight when it's time. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't have a man slap you in your face and you don't do nothing. When a man slaps you in the face, you got to be able to defend yourself. So you still got to have that element, but it's got to be controlled by your higher self. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, spirituality for me is a core of my thing. And I feel like the brothers on the road, yeah, are the most spiritual. Like, because those who come from the darkest darkness are going to shine the brightest light. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Is the devil's fought them because the devil's seen that they're the warrior class, and the devil's seen their their potential. But you have to remember what Jesus says in the Bible, or Yeshua says in the Bible. He says the greatest love, yeah, is that from a friend that will lay down his life for his friend. You know what I'm saying? And the only people that have proven that they will lay their life down on the line for their friend are the people who have gone through the initiation of the streets. You understand? And at no point am I trying to encourage the streets or nothing like that. But what I'm giving is a balance, because sometimes this side of the story is not told. You know what I'm saying? And it's only those who have been through that initiation of the streets who have even gone through that sort of understanding to show that love. But we need to change them from understanding that they're just fighting for a postcode that they don't own, and to widen that mentality to their people on a whole.
That's all. Listen, that's what I'm talking about. Real talks. Yeah, that's why I called you to the show, brother. Yeah, to drop them kind of jewels for the people. Same thing with Black Child Promotions, People Versus. Yeah, everyone's just had a nice build. Big up to Sarah, Nick, Moorish Science, Bring a Piece of Law, you know, dropped off earlier, but this has been a very nice show so far, yeah, just building on understanding the mind of this enforcer, and some of this foolishness has gone on over the last few weeks. Again, shout out to the young man that passed away in Forest Gate. Yeah, hearts go out to your family. Yeah, as Ras said, yeah, your energy cannot be destroyed. Yeah, it can only convert. So, yeah, we can still feel you and understand, but it is a problem what's going on for our people here and across the water, because they're trying to take the mick right now, definitely. And if we don't strengthen themselves, if we don't get on our game and love each other and go on with certain things in the community, especially as youngsters, and I say youngsters loosely because we're still big people with kids and responsibilities and bills, yeah, but if we don't take that little piece of energy that we have in our bones right now and 2 cents that we have in our brain and galvanize that with some spirituality, as the brother said, it's going to be a whole lot more way. And one thing I will always say is, listen, when the pressure's really on, if I throw a man in a cell and I start duffing you up and torturing you and asking you why you supporting the cause, if you don't know yourself, you're going to sell out the whole crew so quickly. Yeah? So the only way this thing is going to work, as man said, is to know yourself, is to be fortified spiritually, is to know knowledge about your history. So come that day that the pressure's put on, like my brothers went through outside of Brixton Station, yeah, you stand on your square. You understand? You know who you are. You know what you're doing. You know the bigger plan for the community that you're trying to affect, and you follow through with that. Yeah. So right now, before we end, I'm just gonna let Black Child Promotion tell us where people can find you, any information you want to put out, any shout outs you want to put out there, before we close out, and then we'll go to Ant and Cece, and then Respect. Hold up, brothers. Let me just turn you up. Yeah, go on.
You can follow our Facebook page at Black Child one word promotions, Black Child Promotions, and we post our locations. But sometimes we're in the Oxford Circus, sometimes we're in Brixton. Our home base is Sisters, so we just post locations and give them the Instagram as well.
Instagram, just type in Black Child Promotions and you'll find us. You get me? Yeah. Or INXT. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and we're just continuing to do the work, and shout out to all the brothers, them and sisters as well. Doing the work out there as well. You understand? Because it's like we all got our position to play within this struggle. Organization just basically means coming together. Understand? Just like Selassie, when he came to Jamaica, he said,
we need to organize and centralize. Marcus Messiah Garvey echoed those same words, saying we need to organize. So organization's where it's at, and everybody has their position to play within the struggle. So if everybody plays their position, then our liberation will truly be at hand. I really sincerely believe that. So
definitely. Yeah, big up, brothers. Big up. Stay right there. Let me touch base with you once we're done. Antonio and Cece, whoever wants to be nominated to speak first, unmute your mic. Cece or Antonio, whichever one. And can you hear me?
Yeah, yo, I'm here.
Yeah. Any closing remarks, and then we'll go to Cece.
Ah, man, yeah. Yeah, shit, man. It's been powerful, man. I believe that right now you've got the elite, you know, the future movers right now. Obviously, I think we all know and understand that it's a sad situation, everything that's happening, everything that's going on. But this is going to sound kind of crazy, but I think it's necessary because I think that like it's for the ones that don't know, like these people are forcing our hands and they're letting us know that they don't have our best interest at heart. So it's like, what do you do? Are you gonna stand there and take these blows, or are you actually gonna like stand for something, stand up and do something? I believe. I mean, it's gonna be what it's gonna be, and a lot of us are gonna stand, a lot of us are gonna fall. But one thing's for sure, it's gonna be a fight. It's gonna be a fight, and I believe everyone that's on this call right now is willing to stand up and fight because we can't take this shit. Not anymore, man. But yeah, man. Yeah, man. People versus, man. Shout out to everyone that's on the call. Black Child Promotions, Raspec, Nico who was here earlier, the other guy. Like, it's all love, man. Let's just keep it up, man. Keep pushing, man. Serious stuff happening.
Definitely. Miss CC, let me just up your mic. Talk to us.
Right now, and I just think that you know, your selection, Rich, you did a good job with your selection in terms of the panel and just having different perspectives on what's going on and just a lot of truth being told. And I just think that just from our perspective in terms of the people versus what we're trying to do is just highlighting some of the work that people in the community are doing and just kind of just promoting it. And I think this is what it's about, healthy dialogue and trying to figure out solutions to what's actually going on, because a lot of people talk and not really about action. And, you know, some of the people on the panel are prime examples of people that are not just talkers, people that are actually doing things in the community, which is why they're so highly respected among the community. You know, people like Black Child and stuff. So it's a shame that there's not more people like that. That's a scary thing. And I think we have to we have a responsibility as the younger generation to keep doing what we're doing, you know, Black Child pushing and Raspec being active and stuff like that, because whether we realize it or not, we are influential people in the community and people do look at what we're doing and respect it. And you are kind of opening the minds up of a lot of people that are disengaged or not really conscious or aware. And yeah, I just think it's important for us just to remember that we have a purpose, and it's bigger than just us. So yeah.
All right. Information of where to find you. Well, you gone blank. You forgot all the places to find you. Instagrams, Facebooks. She's lost her mic. All right. Anne, can you hear me? Anne.
Anne, where are you?
All right, respect. Look, now we can hear you, Anne. We can hear you now. Yeah, we can hear you now, bro.
All right, cool. Yeah, so Instagram, the people versus with a free TH3 people versus Facebook, the people versus yeah, man, and look out for us, man. We're moving. We're moving. You'll see a lot more of us. 100%.
All right. Respect, my brother. Talk to the people for the final time of the night. You've blessed us with some nice gems this evening. We can hear you, bruv. Talk.
And every time, you know what I'm saying, for hosting, man. You know what I'm saying? Big up the Black Child Promotion, because you done know we've been on the front line from time. You know what I'm saying? I love what my brothers are doing, and you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, anytime I was there, you know what I'm saying? I'm mad with myself that I even missed the court case. I didn't even know what was happening. I wasn't tapping to the socials. But you done know I would have been on the front line anytime, man, Erdwag won, and I could have been down there. And then, you know, big up to the People's Verses. Linked them the other day with the SETI thing. You know what I'm saying? So I know they're making moves because they came into the door on some RBG power moves. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man just love the movements. Like my brother Solomon said, organized. And I just want to highlight the fact that, you know, the Chinese were a third world country, and it was a Chinese man that learned Marcus Garvey's philosophy. You understand? And went back to China, and they're first world power now. So we don't have to be really, you know what I'm saying? It's ain't really about respect or anything I've got to bring to the table. Anything I'm saying, I'm just like really just repeating what the ancestors have done. Whether it be Marcus Garvey, whether it be the Black Panther Party, whether it be Malcolm X, whether it be BMF, you know what I'm saying? I'd say I heavily study in our ancestors, and from them, all the solutions are already there. And you know, it starts with black love. This is where it's gonna start, because we've been taught to hate ourselves. You understand? Because the thing is, it's this, like, sometimes within this whole struggle, we get lost, because this isn't about hating white people. Neither is it about changing white people. You know what I'm saying? Because all of our ancestors, from Garvey to Selassie, you know what I'm saying, showed us it wasn't about hating anyone in humanity. You understand? But loving yourself. And if you're using all your energy to love yourself, you won't even have no energy to hate any other man. You know what I'm saying? But so, like, if you look at it, it's got nothing to do with changing white people either, because all white people and all the Arabs could not be racist tomorrow, yeah? And we would still be killing each other in our communities. You understand? Every other race could start loving black people tomorrow, and we would still be killing each other in our communities. We would still be fighting each other. So our main solution is to love ourselves and sort out our own issues. You understand? And once we solve the issues amongst each other, then no one on the outside, you know, when there's no enemy on the inside, the enemy on the outside is powerless. You know what I'm saying? So the only reason really why we're at this in the situation we're in right now is because we're so divided amongst each other. You know what I'm saying? And we got like the conscious black community, then you got the integrated black folks, and they've scared the integrated blacks from messing with all of these divisions that we have in between us. That we have, because as the brother said, they don't care if you're rich or you're poor. They don't care if you're Christian or you're Muslim. They don't care if you live in the South or you live in the West. They don't care from you're black. That's why they're going at you, because you're black. They don't know the difference. They don't know whether you're from Stonebridge or whether you're from Church Road. They care not about none of that. You understand? So based upon that's the reason we're being attacked. Then that should be the same reason that we stand in solidarity. And the main thing I'm showing to my brothers in the streets, my brothers are out there with the bangers. This is the main thing to show the brothers there. You understand? We've lived this life. We've seen it. You understand? We've been to more funerals than christenings. You understand? We sit with people that see dead bodies. You understand? We've sit with people that, you know, have got their brother doing life or have seen their brother's guts spill out. You understand? Yeah, we've seen it all. And we might glamorize it in the music because that's how we have to get through the game. But we know that it's all foolishness when push comes to shove. So I'm saying, okay, we know our generation is ignorant. So the main goal shouldn't be to change our generation. But I think that all of the OGs would work together so that we could get the 12-year-olds and down, and we could ban this post-Cold War. We could ban them being involved, because every bad man or every OG wants to see his son live in a better society than what he grew up in. You understand? So off of the strength of that, you understand? I'm going to leave it with the Frederick Douglass quote, which said it's easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. You understand? So I feel like if we're going to really go into this battle, we should, like the Chinese are 50 years ahead, we should be 50 years ahead. We should be 5 years ahead. Instead of trying to heal the ills of this generation, we should have a united effort to make sure the next generation doesn't face what we went through. And that's my little 2 pence, people. And that's my $2 car. I keep it yardy. Or my $2. My $2. That's my $2.
Listen, I ain't got explosions on the show, but that's a 21-gun salute to that statement there. Black, 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 black. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, real talk for the youth them to ponder over. Yeah, to think about. Yeah, to try and apply in their everyday life. Yeah, it's not easy out here. We know this for the man them on road, but you gotta start thinking. You gotta start making that life expectancy a little bit longer and not playing into the hands of the enforcer. Yeah, because they know all the tricks of the trade, and they're waiting for you to play games. Yeah, remember the story from our brothers from Black Child Promotion. Yeah, they tried it. They stood strong. They tried it with the paperwork. They stood strong. They dealt with it. They applied themselves. They're on this thing. Yeah, a little bit of education, a lot of revolutionary spirit. Yeah, you got to hold fast and do this thing. Yeah, but this has been a big show. Yeah, I got to remind everybody now on the 16th, yeah, of this month at the Cleopatra Needle down in Embankment. We're taking a picture. We're getting all the organizations from the conscious community, from the black community to come out. I hope I see everybody on the panel down there. Yeah, bring a banner, bring something to just promote yourself, get in the picture, show that we've got a thriving community here. That's the 16th, yeah, of this month. That's next week, I believe. Yeah, Sunday, 2 o'clock, sharp. Yeah, we're going to turn up. It's not a long thing. Come together, network, take this picture, show that we've got a community, show some solidarity. Yeah, have something that we can use for promotional purposes moving forward, yeah, and do this thing properly, yeah. This is Black Eyes TV, bringing it to you. Yeah, I got to let you know as well, KT, the Arch Degree, before we go, is in town. KT, the Arch Degree, Dr. Sabi's son, is doing a 2-day breakdown. Yeah, Navarino Mansions, Hackney, Saturday and Sunday. This Saturday and Sunday coming. The date misses me, please, if anybody realizes. I think we're talking about the 9th and 10th. Navarino Mansions, 234, I believe. Navarino Mansions, Hackney. KT, the Arch Degree, is doing a breakdown. The first day is going to be on the Spider-Man movie, doing a little breakdown, showing you the Nancy breakdown, how it's interwoven into our history. You know, they're playing out our stories in these movies. And then the second day is hyperdimensional biomechanics. Yeah, so we're going in, we're getting quantum, we're going deep. Yeah, so look out for that, but just don't forget 16th for our community here. Show up, stand on something. Yeah, this is Black Eyes TV in the place. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. Peace.